Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to this presentation on engineering. It's really exciting to get to this point because our journey in engineering begins here as we start to explore that fascinating world of engineering and design. This is the first video in a three-part series where we'll start to discover what engineering is about, why it matters, and how you might start thinking like an engineer. Over the next three videos, we'll go ahead and explore how engineers identify problems, design solutions, and create innovations that shape our world. And by the end of this series, you'll have a better understanding of what our engineers do, and maybe even discover if engineering might be something that you want to pursue in the future. I mean, look around you right now. The chair you're sitting on, the lights above you, the building that you're sitting in, and maybe even the device you're watching this video on, all are a product and were designed by engineers. All right, so I think that you look forward to this, and you should look forward to this. So let's begin our engineering adventure. All right, first thing we're going to ask, what is engineering? Before we jump into our formal discussions, I'd like to, I'm going to say here, but I think, about what comes to mind when you think about engineering. What do engineers do? And take a moment to think about it. If you have to pause. Some of you might picture something like a bridge or a skyscraper. Others might think about, people designing computers or robots, or maybe even imagine somebody in a lab coat mixing some chemicals together. Well, in reality, you're all right. That's all what engineering does, okay? And even more than that. And as we discover here, engineering is really about solving problems and designing solutions to help improve our lives. Engineers are curious people, and they question things like, how can we make this better? Why does this work the way it does? What if we tried something different? They're creative, they're problem solvers, and of course, they have a good knowledge of science and design and are ready to improve upon those skills.
You find things made by engineers everywhere. If you look around, everything you see, your car, your toaster, your shoes, your house.
The building you go to school in, there was a civil engineer involved in that. The computers that we play on, there was a mechanical engineer, an electrical engineer.
Paint, you name it, anything. Toilet paper, shampoo, food products.
Engineering is all around you.
Engineers are everywhere.
I think it would take somebody with a really powerful growth mindset to accomplish things like this.
Because, you can't just think about it. You have to actually think about it, because those things are really hard to think about.
You would need to have problem-solving skills.
It's just a matter of having a little curiosity and the drive to do something to help the world. I think sometimes we can be stereotyped as you have to be nerdy, or you have to be a boy, or you have to look a certain way, and I don't think that's true. I think anyone can be an engineer. A good engineer is able to come up with creative solutions to problems. They communicate with a lot of people of different fields and just working in teams.
You have to have the thirst for knowledge. You have to always want to learn.
Anything science related, so biology, chemistry,
Calculus, physics.
You absolutely do not have to be a math whiz to study engineering.
I think you have to be able to understand basic concepts of it, but I don't think you have to be some genius to be an engineer.
Engineers will always be in demand. That's one of the reasons why I chose engineering, because you will always need engineers to help you solve the next generation's problems.
Engineering gives you so many opportunities. There's so many different disciplines you can get into.
I can't think of another profession that has the flexibility that engineers have and the type of work that they can do on a day-to-day basis and on a career-long basis, different areas that you can get involved with.
It's incredible to think about what we can do as engineers to impact the world.
What a neat little video. Here we have a definition of engineering. This definition comes from Merriam-Webster, a well-known dictionary. It tells us what engineering is, and that's the, quote, application of science and mathematics by which the properties of matter and the sources of energy in nature are made useful to people, end quote. That's a bit technical, I get it. So let's break it down for our 6th graders. All right, so let's go to this slide. Engineering is the use of math, science, and technology to solve problems and create things that make life better. I mean, think about it, all right? Think about the second definition here. Is it helpful to you? I think it is, because it captures the essence of what engineers do without being really super uber technical for the 6th grade. So they don't just apply science and math for no reason. They apply it to solve problems and help improve the lives around them and our lives. So again, think about this. Engineers design water systems so that we could have clean water into our homes, whether that's coming from a well or coming from the city. They created transportation systems so we could travel safer and easier. They developed communication technology so we connect people around the world. There's so many different things that engineers have been involved with. And in every case, engineers identified a need or a problem and then used their knowledge to create a solution. That's why the field of engineering is so, exciting, and it makes the world a little bit better. So let's dive into the fields of engineering. Now, these are very, very broad, and they kind of express what basic field of engineering that someone might want to pursue or what these engineers are involved with. So let's take a look at the 5 primary fields. First, we have civil engineering. Civil engineers design and build the physical structures around us, like roads, bridges, buildings, even dams that hold back water or levees, water systems. When you cross a bridge or start to enter a tall building, you're experiencing the work of a civil engineer. Next, we have mechanical engineer. These engineers work with anything that moves or has moving parts, from tiny gears like a watch to supermassive engines like on big cargo ships and such, and even airplanes like we looked at back in our unit on paper airplanes. They design, develop, and maintain all sorts of mechanical systems. Then you have electronic engineers. Electronic engineering focuses on the electricity and electronics. These engineers design everything from power grids that supply electricity to our homes to the circuits inside of your tablet or inside your phone or inside the Chromebook that you might be watching this video on right now. Chemical engineers apply chemistry to develop the products that we use every day. These engineers work in creating medicines and foods and cleaning products and fuels and many other materials. And of course, industrial engineering. Industrial engineers look at how to make manufacturing and service systems more efficient. All right. In other words, if you're moving something, do you want to use a forklift or do you want to use a big truck? They figure out the best way to use people, machines, materials, information, and energy to make the products or provide services. Each of these fields involves a different type of problem, and they do all the same thing. It's the engineering process, and a mindset that we'll explore in our upcoming videos. Speaking of upcoming videos, we have here a preview into what we're going to be looking at next. So now that we've learned what engineering is and have explored the main fields of engineering, I hope you are beginning to see how important engineers are in our daily lives. They're problem solvers who use math and science to create solutions that help people. In our next video, we'll dive deeper into the engineering design process, the steps engineers follow to solve problems and create new things. You'll learn how engineers identify problems, brainstorm solutions, test their ideas, and improve their designs. Before our next class, I'd like for you to start noticing engineering around you. Look at the objects you use in everyday lives and ask yourself, how was this designed? What problem does it solve? And how might an engineer improve it? Remember, engineers are curious, creative, and persistent. That means they keep going, right? Even when things get tough. They observe carefully, ask questions, and aren't afraid to try new ideas, even if those ideas don't always work out the first time. Thank you for joining me on this video, and I look forward to continuing our exploration of engineering in part 2.